How do you make gold? Now, this is a question I get asked quite a lot as I spend most of my time making gold. So today we'll be exploring how to make gold as a beginner. Starting off, what methods are there? Making gold has three main gold making methods. These are farming, crafting, and flipping. Each of these methods have pros and cons, where some take more time than others. Some require an initial investment of gold. So with that covered, let's dive in. Farming, one of the most common methods and also the one that most people adopt. This method provides the easiest barrier to entry. This can be done with the core gathering professions, mining, herbalism, skinning, and also fishing. The most common of which is herbalism, paired alongside a druid, as this class can gather herbs while still being in their flight form. Alas, if you do not own a druid, you can achieve the same effect by using a sky golem mount on the other classes. If you are choosing to farm with one or two of these gathering professions, I would always recommend starting your farms in current content, as these will sell fast and provide you with the quickest returns for your time. However, if you are looking for higher returns, then older content is definitely king. A good starting place for this is mining and herbalism in cataclysm zones, as these materials are always in high demand. Moving over to crafting. The fundamental principle for crafting is quite simple. You will need to find what is profitable to craft, and then source the materials, either that by buying the materials off of the auction house or farming these materials yourself. Farming materials can take quite a while for your crafts. A better option is to invest some of your existing gold into crafting a batch of items for a profit. This is one of the most common methods of crafting, but this also reduces the time spent on your gold making as opposed to farming on a gold per hour basis. Crafting may have that barrier to entry, but the scalability of investing gold not only saves time, but also increases the range of crafts so you are able to sell more items, which means in the long run, you'll make more for your time invested. A good place to start is by getting into the utility market, meaning cooking, inscription, and alchemy, alongside enchanting. By doing these, you'll be able to learn over time what works and what does not, as this is server specific. However, you are able to gauge what works by looking at what is profitable and then checking the sell rate for that item or the daily average sold. My general rule of thumb for someone just getting started is 0.1 of sell rate at a 120% crafting value. This is so you get 20% profit with a strong sell rate, decreasing the risk of profit loss. Getting into crafting may be daunting, but I would start with current content items like meals, feasts, pots, and flasks, because these are all good sellers and generally give good returns and are always in demand, especially on raid nights. Moving over to flipping. There are multiple ways to do flipping, but there are typically three types I would like to cover, which is shuffling flips, vendor flips, and auction house flips. Shuffling flips are quite popular. A common one that is tried and true is disenchanting paired with tailoring. This is where you'll craft braces, typically current content ones, and then disenchant them for the enchanting materials, which then you will sell on for a profit. Tailoring braces are used the most because cloth is super cheap overall, which makes it great for this type of shuffle, and you'll be able to sell the enchanting materials from the crafted braces for a profit most of the time. Vendor flips are a way of taking one item to a vendor and exchanging it for another for a higher value. A common one is the Spirit of Harmony vendor flip. This is where you buy Spirits of Harmony and trade them in for the materials offered by the vendor for a higher markup. The best ones are typically the black and white Trillium ore, as this sells better than most of the others. As for the last flipping method, which is auction house flipping, this is where you will search the auction house for undervalued items like BOEs, most common of which is current content BOEs, ideally world drops and low drop chance transmog. These are the ones that can net you the most amount of gold, but of course, with this method of buying and reselling, it does run the risk of losing gold. but it is wise to take this into account if you want to start flipping on the auction house. Jumping over to add-ons. Add-ons can be a great way of helping you make gold. The main one I would suggest, and the one most people will tell you to get, is Trade Skill Master, or TSM for short. This add-on manages your stock of items, runs posting and cancel scans to the auction house with pricing your crafts and farmed items, along with aiding in crafted items for a profit. If you have not used TSM before, then there are multiple guides on it overall. This is a must-have add-on for every gold maker. Another add-on that can aid you is one I created alongside my friend Callan, which is Worth It. This is for farming, where we use the TSM prices and predict what the gold per hour of a gold farm will be before you do it, while also providing routes to follow and many other features. Lastly, for add-ons that beginners should have is Loot Appraiser. This add-on will track items while you are farming and add their value into the total score, meaning that you are able to track your gold per hour much easier in a given farming session. The overall way of making gold is to either invest your time or gold into farming or creating items for a profit. So in conclusion, farming is better when starting out for fast sales, and crafting is more scalable and can yield you more gold in the long run, while flipping is more of a high risk, high return type effort and should only be done if you are okay with losing the gold if the gamble does not pay off. So hopefully this ties up any questions you might have about gold making, and if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments and I can answer them for you. Other than that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.